I cannot believe that I get to have a conversation with one of my favorites. Geno,
I feel exactly the same way. I've been looking so forward, like I said, to this afternoon, and what a great opportunity just to sit and chat about life, how things are, business, work.
people said, Terry, what are you going to do? I said, I'm just going to talk like we're having a phone call together, right?
It's well, you know what? I mean, you're a great communicator, and you and I have done this for so many years that uh, not only does it come easy, but I think when you have an unstructured opportunity like you're doing with Unclipped, it brings out the best in people. You know, it really brings out some creativity and good conversation. Sort of like Johnny Carson, you're becoming like a
Oh,
like. Oh,
I like
wait,
that.
wait, so many people probably don't even know who Johnny Carson is.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny Carson is this old guy that used to be on TV, and he had a way of interviewing people. And when he interviewed them, he would bring out things that they never thought they would share.
Oh, it was the best. It was the
Yeah,
best. You know, it
yeah.
was, you didn't go to bed until Johnny Carson was over. That's how I grew up anyway.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you at least made it through the monologue.
Yes, the
You know,
monologue is the best
yeah,
part.
yeah,
So Geno, this
yes.
last year, as you know, has been very tough for me, losing my mom. And you had a very special relationship with her. And I want to give credit to who you and I are, because a lot of it's due to our mothers, right?
Oh, no doubt about it. And you know what? Your mom really was such a very special, intuitive, connected, great communicator. And really, uh, I used to talk with her a lot because she saw through things that I didn't see through. And I have to tell you, I think of her all the time because our time together was absolutely magical. It
She
really
had
was.
her common sense was amazing, just the way she thought about things. And I remember when I was leaving Pillsbury, and I was considering leaving hospitality and going to work for physicians weight loss centers before I joined Mercado. And I said, Mom, I'm really good in hospitality, really good. I don't know if I can move into another industry. She goes, give it a year.
Uh-huh.
Just give everything you've got for a year. A year goes like that. Just give it a year and find the best trainer in the company, find the best employee, connect with them, study them, and see if you can do this. And it was such great advice. That's what every
Yeah.
hairdresser should hear.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. No doubt about it. And by the way, all of you, did you know that when Terri did join Bricado, I gave Terri her first hair color?
First hair color. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. That was before she knew how bad I really was. So I was
Wait,
able to get, but no, it turned out beautiful. It turned out great, didn't it?
now I need color right now.
Oh,
Now I get color every 3 weeks. But
I need hair.
okay, well,
Um,
let's go back to this.
yes.
Why is it, and especially now, Geno, people don't want to um, pay the price for success? Why is it?
Well, we've made it awfully easy, Terry. People talk about the entitlement society, and I don't think it's an actual society, but I think there's a lot of people out there that feel entitled and they're spoiled and they don't want to work hard and they don't want to give their all. I don't even know if they understand the principles that we grew up with, that we grew out of. I don't even know if those principles still exist, if they're still carried forward. You follow? I mean, I have difficulty getting my daughter to discipline her children. She's like, "Oh, Dad, just let them go." I said, "You don't understand. You've got a time bomb there. You've got to pull her together, discipline her, and people don't realize, but discipline becomes security, Terry. You know that, and
Exactly.
and look at how hard we studied and read and grew. And people talk about the last year. What a great opportunity for everyone to read and study and grow and do Zooms and seminars. And there's so much education out there. But I
They'd
think,
rather be on social media than develop themselves. And I think it's the most ridiculous thing. I'm not going to say I don't do it. But certainly if I had to pick between watching other people's lives or making a better life for myself, I should pick make a better life for myself, right?
Of
And,
course, and understand that most of what you're seeing on social media is made up anyway. So when you look at someone else's life and they look like they're having a blast and just came from
they're
vacation,
not, yeah.
you know, it gets me mad. I'm
Uh,
like, wait a minute, what am I doing?
so
You know,
so I'll tell you why I like it. At 60 years old, I love Facebook so I can send condolences,
I agree.
send prayers when
Right,
needed,
right.
and the connection. I like it to keep my circle as big as it can be, right?
And you know what? No one I know has done that as well as you have. No one I know. I mean, you have a way, and it was actually something that I kind of wanted to talk about in our talk today was for everybody that's a beauty professional, please understand that our lives are entwined and encircled and enhanced by our relationships. And I don't know if all of you know, but certainly Terri and Steve and I, we've had a relationship for many, many years, and I've often wondered just how you maintain so well. I mean, your relationships with people. Not that we talk every week or two, but every few weeks, Terri will text me or email me or call me and just say, "How are you? Let's laugh." I'll get a
I'll
text and
need
she'll
to
say,
laugh.
"I need to laugh. I need to have some fun." And I think people have lost sight, Terri, especially through social media, of the importance of really building, nurturing, protecting, respecting relationships.
Well, and what I find hard for people to understand is if you're good at it personally, you can be great at it professionally, right?
Absolutely. Yeah,
So if you stink at it personally, you're going to struggle with it professionally too.
of
So
course.
I think about my friendships, my best friend of 50 years. In fact, I'm going to see them this weekend and I'm really excited about it. But in every job I've ever had, I created a great friendship and it was usually the best employee there.
Right. Well,
Like,
you taught me that the importance of surrounding yourself with really the best and the right people, and it's almost like you and I getting together today. Not only was I looking forward to it, but as I've mentioned to you many times in the past, you bring out the absolute best in me. You demand the best out of me, and that made me so much more uh, well, of a person, let alone an educator. It really did. I mean, you did a lot of work helping me to enhance my life and career and make them more rewarding. And like you talk about and get frustrated with, I think today people don't understand that it's your job to enhance your life and career and make them more rewarding. It's your job to develop lifelong friends and to understand that life is what you make it. And even through this horrible COVID year, I mean, I've got a original copy behind me of The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. And someone said to me, "How are you staying up this year?" And I said, "I've probably read that book 100 times, but I've read it this last year at least 2 or 3 times a week, just to remind myself, stay positive. This too shall pass. We can get through it. Stay safe." And I just was talking to some beauty professionals that I talked to a few months ago. Terri, they couldn't wait to get back to work. The salons were closed and everybody was going crazy. Now they're burnt out. It's like, well, it's so much work, and I got to wear this mask, and oh my God, and people, and I'm like, the hell's the matter with you? 3 months ago, you're telling me you couldn't wait to get back to work. And now you're telling me that it's just too much work. You're burning out. And I try to, and please break in, Terri, because you know me. I try to remind them, look, put your life and your problems and your success and your failures, put everything in perspective, right?
right.
Just put it in perspective.
Well, here's the thing that I think about. I'm going to go back to Hales, my first job when I was in sixth grade.
Right, right.
First job. I was a bus girl. And our boss was not nice, but I learned from him but he wasn't a night. He was a drunk. I feel bad saying that, but he was a booze head, and he would, stagger downstairs and but I learned some disciplines about him about speed. So anyway, if I got mad at him, I had to wait till after I was done from work to talk about it. I mean, what are I going to do? Get on the payphone? I had to ask to use a payphone. Now watch this. Ask to use a payphone, have a dime. The payphone was in a place everyone could hear it. So who am I going to call and complain about it? Nobody.
Right.
So I would work through the day, get home, and I'm home now. I don't want to talk about it. So it stayed there and it didn't come home with me.
Right.
And to my committee, they never heard about it. We all have a committee.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay? Now what do they do, Geno?
Yeah.
They keep it alive and wear it 24 hours a day.
Oh, big time.
24 hours a day. They're on it and they never get a break or a rest from the drama of it.
Right.
And they don't think they're high drama.
Well, and then it becomes a habit, Terry. And now,
exactly.
If you don't have high drama, you don't feel normal, and people don't realize how much added stress that puts on you.
Oh,
Just be a problem solver, be a solution oriented thinker. Solve your problems or let them go and move on and drop them. And especially don't put them on Facebook and Instagram. And some people.
Or with your clients. Come on.
Oh, well, that's most important. I'm sitting here talking to you, but right in front of me, I'm in my office. Right in front of me is my big esteemed bulletin board. And right in the center of my bulletin board, I have a little pink stickum that says, "Be known for all things good."
Good.
Yeah. Share what's good and share what's working. And look at these people now in the salon. All they talk about is COVID. All they're talking about is who got sick. Did you get sick? Somebody got sick. Did you hear about this guy? And I say to them all the time, you know what? I've never been a talented hair cutter. I've never been a talented colorist. I mean, it was hard for me. I'm good. I mean, of course I'm good. I spent 35 years behind the chair, but I've never been great. I've been a nice guy. And people liked me because I made them feel great. Exactly. And we would have meetings, Terry, and I would say to my staff, you couldn't get one of my customers out of my chair because as good as you are as a hair cutter, no one can compete with the way I make my customer feel.
They're not going to touch your connection.
Absolutely.
So when you look at, there's so many ways that people need to improve, and it's not, we're not going to talk about technical. They need to improve on their connection. I mean, your connection factor is huge. Your social skills, no one's going to compete with those. Someone might compete with you technically, but they're not going to compete with you on those. And you knew that. And you knew that.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So some people are brilliant technically, but boy, they are a downer to be around. They're going to get beat.
They don't understand.
No, they don't.
Well, one of the things I used to share with my staff all the time is how much is it costing you to think like you think? Back up a little bit and start thinking more like a true professional. Don't think like, well, it's my life. I have my problems. I'm doing my thing. Don't get caught up in all that. Think like a true professional. How would you feel if you went to your doctor and your doctor said, I'm just having a bad day. I took a couple of Xanax. I'm having problems with my family. I think I'm getting divorced. You'd freak out, You know
what? Let's just talk. Don't give me a shot or anything. Okay. Let's just talk today, right?
Yeah.
That's what you would say to them. But when you look at what's going on with people, and I'm not trying to minimize this, but they're making life too hard. They're making being a hairdresser too hard, right?
Absolutely.
Just enjoy it.
Absolutely. And you know what, Terri? Don't lose the magic. Don't lose the passion. And I can tell you that when I first started going to PSC and working with you and Steve, and in the beginning it was really more Steve than you. I worked with you through Mercado, but I would watch Steve's love for the industry and question myself. I would say to myself, what did you do? Did you let yourself forget how much you love who we are? Because I've loved beauty since the day I fell into beauty school. But I got sidetracked and I allowed myself to get a little burnt out. And really, it was you guys that kind of made me realize not only can you not do that, you can never do that. You pay such a price for letting yourself burn out.
Well, you pay such a price for having a bad attitude. See, here's the thing, that expression, I think I shared it with you on our last call. Your energy introduces you even before you speak.
Yeah, I love it.
Right? And
Yeah.
and so we've been around people and we go, ooh, there's something special right there.
Right.
And so many people lack presence. And I don't know how to teach that. And I guess presence goes with confidence, I would think. I'm not sure. Or presence is maybe the love of life. Or presence is, I was watching people with Steve. Where was I? We were somewhere and I was looking up and, we were at Bob Evans. This was last Sunday. We went to see Emma and we went to Bob Evans.
You mean you know Bob Evans personally, or you went to the
not
Bob?
Bob Evans. We're at the Bob Evans having sausage gravy.
Oh, okay.
So Bob Evans, I was seeing people in there and no one, not one person looked like they loved life.
Yeah.
Not one person.
Yeah.
And they walked out, and they blended in.
Yeah.
If you want to be successful in the business, you've got to stand out. You've got to lean in. You've got to create energy, not suck thrive, right?
Well, you know what? You've got to have energy even when you don't have energy. And that's the hardest times. I mean, when you feel good, it's okay to feel good. But there's a lot of times you don't feel good that you have to pretend you feel good. You and I have both been coaches to a lot of educators in the beauty industry. And one of the things I tell them all the time is, look, the first thing I learned was when you get on that stage, nothing can come between you and your audience. Not a problem, an issue, your health, your headache. You leave everything behind and you do your thing. And I've often thought about you talking about Barbra Streisand and how, well, just how she could sing a song that she's sung 10,000 times. I mean, could you imagine what Barbra Streisand thinks when people say, oh, Barbara, sing People? She's thinking, oh, shit, not People. I hate people.
I hate people.
Yeah. Yeah.
You play the chord of People and I'm going to poke you in the eye. Right.
But you see, it's like you talk about, Terri. It has so much to do with our childhood because we were forced to just do it. Nothing came to us. People sometimes look at me like I'm lying when I say, listen, I bought my own clothes from 12 years old on. No one bought my clothes. When I was 14, I worked 45 hours a week washing dishes in a restaurant. I mean, my whole life, I've worked my whole life. And
I look at it. Two things. If we were involved in activities, it had to be within walking distance. We had one car.
Right.
And my dad took it. So everything else we were involved in had to be walking distance. And here's another thing. My mother never said, do you want to cheer? Do you want to be a cheerleader? Do you want to run track? Do you want to be in the musical? She didn't ask me any of that. I told her, right? This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. Now I see these parents. Johnny, do you want to play soccer? Oh, my God. Do you not? And then so I see people in even educators in the beauty industry. Do you want to be successful as a hairdresser? Yes. What are you willing to do for it?
Right.
What are you willing to do for it?
Right. And I think a lot of times what they want to do is they want to expand upon what they do well. And the reality is that that's not going to take you anywhere. What you've got to expand upon is what you don't do well. When you talked earlier about having presence, it has a lot to do with having confidence. Well, I always say self-confidence is the product of knowledge. What I did to grow me was I looked at everything I had a lack of confidence in, and those are the things I work on. I even do it now all the time.
How do you help them understand that if they're not successful, it truly is their fault?
Yeah, and that's hard, and it's really hard coming from you and I because I've never worked with anyone other than you that cares more about her customer, her audience than you. And when you and I work together, we've spoken to hundreds of beauty professionals, and we've taken every one of them into our hearts.
Yes.
We want to help them, and we want them to grow. But you do have to come to the realization that some will and some won't. I mean, some people just can't get out of their own way.
Well, I look at it as this. So I watch American Idol and The Voice. I watch them both.
Right.
So I'm going to give you a couple illustrations. In The Voice, the blind voice, have you ever
Yes.
watched it?
Yes.
Okay. So they're facing this way,
Right.
right? And then when they like a vocalist, they turn around.
Right.
They go, 4 chairs, great.
Right.
But then when they see them, the voice doesn't match the presence.
Right.
They have a beautiful voice.
Right.
They can't sell it with their face.
Right.
They can't sell it with their hands. They lack the storytelling ability. And presence is so key. It's so key, especially as a vocalist, because you have to tell a story. And you and I both love music. And you brought up Barbara. The last time I saw her was 2 years ago in August. And I was probably from here to the end of the stage away from her.
Oh my goodness.
You can imagine. But Geno, I studied the way she held her mic, held her tea, held a note, communicated with the conductor. I'm still studying her.
Oh, of course.
I studied how she does things.
I do the same thing. And you know what, Terry? That'll never go away. And it's obvious. You really are a master at study. You really know what to look for, and you know how to then incorporate that into who you are. I think I've told you the story before, but I had the opportunity a few years ago to go to the casino in Atlantic City, and oh my goodness,
what happened?
The Godfather. What was his name? Al Pacino. So the casino calls me and says, Al Pacino is going to be here. Would you like to come and see him? I'm like, of course, I'll come. We were actually in Ireland, and we got home on June 3rd. June 4th was my birthday. And I said to Barb, I'm not missing this. And I went down on June 4th. So I went there and to see Al Pacino, and then found out that I was going to have an hour with Al Pacino and 49 other people before the thousands of people came in. 50 of us, because we lost so much money in the casino, we're going to be able to spend an hour with Al Pacino. So the first thing I did was went to my room and decided, what do I wear to have presence? And I put my clothes on. I looked at myself. Exactly. I felt wonderful. And then I thought about my dialogue. What will I talk about? What will I say? I don't want to approach him and jump on him, but I want to kind of be in there and have my eye on him and have him have his eye on me. So I'm in there. I know I look good. I'm just talking to people, having a bourbon. And all of a sudden he looks over and he points at me and he says, hey, are you Italian? And I said, of course. And he said, what's your name? And I said, Geno. And he went like this. And I said, Geno. And he came walking over and said, do you know how many years I wanted to be Geno Pacino? And the next thing you know,
there's the relationship.
We're talking. Yeah. And he went on to tell the most incredible story that pertains so totally to what you're talking about right now. He wanted to be an actor. He grew up in the Bronx. He didn't have a father. He had a mother and his grandfather. There was no money. And he was a courier at the World Trade Center, which, by the way, so was John Calzone. And Al Pacino was the one that brought John Calzone in because they were couriers together. Okay. So he said he went to his acting coach and said, look, I need help. There's so many things I don't like about me. And he said, the coach just looked at him and he said, then recreate you. I want you to list what you think the greatest actor would be, do, wear, say, and bring it to me. And when he did, the guy just handed it back to him and said, that's who you have to be. And that's what we did we not?
Exactly.
I mean, that's how I got my first job.
Well, Gino, if you think about it, should you and I be sitting here right now? No,
Absolutely not.
no,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
I, but I said, I, if whatever job I'm doing, I will stand out,
I
right?
agree.
I will
I
stand
agree.
out. And
Yeah.
everything that I tackle, I have the philosophy, I'll stand out or I'll partner with someone that does, right?
Right. Yes.
So, so when you look at people making things complicated, you were noticed, number one, because you wanted to be, and number two, you prepared to be noticed by him,
Absolutely.
right? Now
Yeah.
you could have gone in there and say, he didn't look at me. I was there. You know,
Yeah.
I,
Or I could have gone over and said, ow, ow, Al Pacino. Oh my God. And I thought, be cool.
and
Make this
security would have taken you out, right?
no doubt.
I want to see you right now. But when you look at the people, and I they always say to me, remember that one guy said to you, Gino, what do you think? What do you think
Oh
about?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Dick. Yeah, yeah.
what do you think?
Gino, what do you think about when you meet people?
And I thought that was the craziest question. But what he was asking is, how are you so comfortable connecting? That's what
Right.
he was asking.
Yeah. How do you turn people on? How do you walk through the room and have people say, boy, I like him?
Yes,
Yeah.
there's something there. That's what he was asking you.
Yeah. Oh,
So
no, I knew. Yeah.
when we walked into the salon the other day to teach, big staff, I'm automatically looking for the people that stand out, the ones that even over a mask, I can still see their energy
Of course.
and feel their energy, right?
Of course.
And you also walk in there as a speaker, you also know the ones, God bless you, honey. I don't, what are you doing?
Yeah. Why are you here?
Why are you here?
Uh-huh.
And you've been teaching classes. Have you found people sitting in bed and stuff taking your classes?
Oh, of course. People in their pajamas, people sitting in bed, people forgetting that I can see them. And I
Yes.
have to say, I can see you. I'm I'm watching, you're picking your nose. I'm trying to teach something here.
Oh,
You know,
terrible.
I mean, it just is. And you know what's funny, Terry? I mean, I had a lot of problems and hardship when I was younger, a lot, constantly. And it stayed with me into my 20s. It actually stayed with me until I got so sick and tired of it. I made the commitment of giving 100% to whatever I do and doing it 100% of the time. And you know what happened? All of my crap disappeared. It was gone. And that's what is the most difficult thing to teach. And I was thinking about talking with you, and I was actually going to give you a call and say, why is it so hard, above all the things we teach, to teach a young person about their capabilities and their potential and how much they could be and do and have if they would only strive to be different and
Well,
strive.
you're exactly right. And here's the thing I think about, when someone says to me, or let's say I notice someone and I go, oh my God, look at their body. Look at that body. Well, she gets up at 4 o'clock every day. Okay, I know right then I will not have that body because
Right,
I'm not
right.
getting up at 4
Up
a.m.
at four. Yeah, yeah,
So and Stephanie, people have said many times as hairdressers, I want to be Stephanie Kachowski. Okay, let's rewind her life and see what made Stephanie, and are you willing to do that?
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
I think about working 80 hours a week. I think about being in the restaurant industry and hustling and had to hustle my way into success. And I hear people say, well, I wouldn't do that. Okay, don't talk out of both sides of your mouth then,
Right,
right?
right. Then you're going to have. Well, I've been sharing with everyone through this COVID thing. I haven't had much work in the last year or so, and a lot of my educator friends are, well, how are you? How are you surviving? How are you making out? And I said, come on, I've got some money. What do you mean? How am I surviving? I've got some income. I've got some annuities. I've got things I've called on. I've sold some stock. I said, and I tried to explain to a couple of them, you're too smart. not to be financially secure. You're too smart not to overcome some of this stuff. I mean, we tried to plan COVID out. Quick, get milk and toilet paper because there's going to be none. If you think of COVID as a hurricane, the minute I hear hurricane on the news, I'm like, go get milk, toilet paper, and paper towels, because people tend to go and water, and buy them out. So I think what people really have to do is look inward and become a better thinker, and then be willing, like you said, not just to make the changes, but you've got to be committed to what it is that you want. I mean, if you want to have success in beauty, it's not that hard. I've been there. I've done that. And like I said, I'm not talented, but if you want to have success in beauty, I mean, I remember the first time, and I don't know if a lot of the people on here know about the first time that I had you able to see me speak on stage. And I wanted to
I
be,
love this.
I wanted to be an educator more than anything in the world. And I had a little bit of better thinking. I was thinking, I'm not going to make the mistakes I made as a hairdresser. Not that I made a lot of mistakes. I was the busiest hairdresser I know. I mean, I made a lot of money and had a whole lot of fun. But the educator thing, I was a little older, a little more mature, take a whole lot more serious. And I can distinctly remember a couple things. I remember you saying, can I be honest with you? And I said, yes. And you said, how honest would you like me to be?
Well,
And
because
I
you
was like,
started and you said, wasn't I great? Wasn't I
yeah,
great?
wasn't I fabulous? Oh my God, I was so funny. Wasn't I terrific? And you said, you're good. What I was getting to, and I'll let you say what you said, but what I was getting to was, after we were through, I didn't like you at all. I couldn't wait to get out of that restaurant. And I actually went home. Sam Mercado called and said, how was your event? And I said, I don't want to be an educator. And he was like, oh boy, you know about this, right? He said to me, at the first sign of rain, you melted. I said, what are you talking about? He said, you got to spend time with Terri. And then it hit me like a ton of bricks. My God, she's the first person that was courageous enough and honest enough to be honest with me.
Well,
You you blew my mind.
here's what I said to you. And I know what I went through as a trainer to learn how to speak and be on stage and everything else. I know what I had to do to get there, and you got there natural. And I said, I have never been around someone that has the gift of presentation. You are a natural, right? And
Yeah.
I said, I am so impressed with your ability to just own a room, I think I said. I said, now, here's the bad news. You're not saying anything worthwhile. So if you find a message that's powerful, you're going to be unstoppable. Absolutely unstoppable because
I
of
remember that. I remember
personality and
that.
everything else.
Yeah.
And your message was good, but it wasn't yours.
Yeah.
And it didn't tell a good story that complimented you. So as soon as you went back and you said, I'm going to do the work, and I think Steve PSC was the first one that gave you an audience, wasn't it?
Yes. Yes.
And then the rest is history. Now you're
Yes.
an international speaker, not just
Yes.
national,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
But when I said to you, can I be honest with you? I also had to give you a tool after I said that.
Right.
Go find a message
Right.
that's your own.
Right. Yeah.
But
That was
how many people now? Here's what I think about today in today's world. When I get a call from an owner, they'll say, my staff wants more flexibility. Okay. How many hours? What's the first question I ask? How many hours are they working? 32. Okay. And I think, God, I could have done 32 hours with my eyes closed.
I could have had 3 jobs, 32 hours each
I was
one.
just going to say that. Heck, I could have had 3 jobs.
Mhm.
Right? So no one wants to work, but everyone wants to have everything.
Right.
I don't get it. And
Yeah.
then the other thing is they have no standards. What are the standards you have for yourself? That's the biggest thing. I mean, I'm never going to get sloppy drunk in front of anyone. That's my standard. I'm never not going to talk about like a lady. That's my standard. I'm never going to not carry myself as a lady. That's my standard. I'm never going to not work with a teammate and say, hey, do you need anything? Can I help you? And you just don't hear those courtesies anymore. I said to the girls on Sunday when I was talking, why do all the girls use the F word now? And I said, I want the reasons, because when I was growing up, it was terrible. So why do you use it? And they said, well, first of all, movies, music, social platforms, lack of standards.
Well, and you know what, Terry? Just because things have become commonplace doesn't give us permission to use them. I don't want to be commonplace.
No,
I don't want to think commonplace. I want to have enough of self-respect and respect for the people around me. A friend of mine just asked me, why are you always so happy? And I said, look, I'm not always so happy. As a matter of fact, I'm not happy at all right now. And he said, but you act like you're on top of the world. I said, what right do I have to share my crap with you? You've got your own crap. So when I get out in the world, I act like I'm on top of the world, whether I'm on top of the world or not. I believe that's the way people should treat other people. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't want to, I heard a great saying one time, Deepak Chopra from the Sanskrit. He said, I will not walk through your mind with dirty feet.
Oh, I love that.
Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. I will not walk through your mind with dirty feet. Now, here's what I try to tell hairdressers and beauty professionals. Look, I don't know about you all. I see a beauty salon, whether it's one chair or 50 chairs, as a sanctuary. It's like church. It's where great things happen.
Yeah, I want to throw someone in the chair out so I can get in.
Oh God, yes.
Yes.
It's where kids develop self-worth and self-esteem. It's where people see the best of themselves. How could you share anything that isn't good and healthy and structured and energizing with people inside a salon? That's not a place to talk about your life or anything. Even in the break room, it should be healthy, encouraging conversation,
Exactly.
not tearing each other down.
But that's not the world anymore. I said to I was talking to Emma, my daughter, and I said, and a counselor, and I said, why do girls fight so much? I've never had that. I don't think Cheryl and I have ever had a fight, or Kim and I have ever had a fight, ever. And we just didn't do that.
Yeah.
And it's not how we respected each other.
Exactly.
Now they're talking and even in the salon, it's not a professional environment. It's very childish sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the big things, and I was just talking to my daughter about this in regard to my grandchildren, and I said, you know what? People have forgotten how to think before they speak.
Oh, good.
They have. And
we were raised, don't speak.
Absolutely.
Shut up and sit over there.
Well, you talk about having a fight at school. God forbid if I ever had a fight at school or got sent home, my father would kill me. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't be here right now, No. And I knew that. They're just, you do keep your nose clean and do not get in trouble. But people really have forgotten how to think before they speak it. That's a lot really of what you and I teach when we teach what they call soft skills, which I think they're really not soft skills. They're more important than a pair of scissors. However, trying to teach a beauty professional, think before you speak. What do those words mean? What will those words do to another person?
Well, even when you and I have dinner, let's say we're having dinner, Barb and Steve and you and I, we critique the energy of our service provider. Oh, good dialogue. Yeah. Wow, he did a great job.
Yeah.
But bless his heart, he doesn't stand it.
Yeah, also, exactly. We did.
Also, before we're done dining, he's going to know who we are.
Oh, absolutely.
Relationship with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No doubt.
Because I find it very difficult when our job is to create a better generation after us. It doesn't mean we have to tolerate the generation. It means we need to help the generation, right?
Yes.
I don't want to hear, well, that's just how people are today. I have to tell you a funny story. So, I'm older. John and Mary Ann had us down. I think maybe, I don't know if I ever told you this, but they took us out with the staff, Visible Changes, to a club. I hadn't been in a club for years. I didn't know the behavior in a club. I didn't know. And Geno, I was shocked how
Now,
women,
when was this?
well, how many years ago? Maybe 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
I was shocked how women carry themselves. I was embarrassed.
Do you have the name of the club? No, I'm just kidding.
But I was like, oh my God, are you kidding? So what I think is missing is self-respect, the standard of self-respect.
Sure.
It goes along with what you said too, but can you see me dancing like that? Even in my early days, or
Yeah.
or drinking like that, or not?
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah. Well, you really helped me to become aware of understanding how my reputation would follow as a result of sometimes, because I've been known to act without thinking many times. And it took me a long time to learn how to have the self-discipline to think before I act or think before I speak, and basically not lose who I am, but maintain who I am. And I think that's so very important. And I think that's kind of, where you're going. It is. Sometimes it's shocking to see how people will allow themselves to be in front of other people.
Sloppy.
It's horrendous. It's beyond sloppy today. Today, it's like when we go out. Now, we haven't been out in a long time, but when we go out, I'd be like, well, what can we expect to see tonight? What are we going to discover tonight from how people are? And I tell Barb all the time, look, this is not the time to drive aggressive. If you're going to be an aggressive driver and cut somebody off, they might have a gun. They're just going to blow your head off. So you just don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
You have to be careful. Yeah. Well,
really short.
Yes. Yeah. Short fuses, high stress.
Yeah.
But you're right. So much happens when you can develop that sense of self-respect. And the hardest thing, Terri, is that what's it going to take for someone to realize that there really is greatness within them? There's greatness within all of us. The biggest
that way. Yep.
The biggest sin, Terri, is that so many people will never realize or recognize their greatness. They'll get too caught up in the crap of life.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you,
we had a friend call it the carousel of crap. I thought that was so funny.
I love it. Well, that's why I'm indebted to you and Steve. I mean, in many ways, you guys really helped me become aware of that within myself, that there was greatness there. And I mean, I've just got interviewed by, I don't know, been so many interviews by somebody recently that said, why do you think you're a great educator? I said, it's easy. I really do believe that there's greatness inside everyone. And I feel like part of my job is to help to make them aware, bring that greatness out. Yet we live with the pain of, like we were talking about earlier on stage, the fact that so many people, they can't even get out of their own way. Well, they're never going to recognize the greatness. They don't even believe it's there.
I don't know how long we've gone, but I don't care. I think about growing up with little means, and you probably can top this story, but I remember specifically Halloween. Some kids had these extravagant costumes on, right?
Right.
We were either a hobo, a housewife, whatever the house had, because we couldn't afford to buy
whatever's in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And
I always vowed, boy, when I grow up, I'm going to have towels and bed sheets, and I'm going to have Halloween costumes. I vowed to myself.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, did you ever get a towel out of the Tide box or whatever? Do you remember that? When
Oh,
the
absolutely.
free towel came in the detergent?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I remember never having a commercial popular brand of cookies. We always had the fake ones, right?
Right. Right.
And so those moments, I go back and I say, I didn't want that for myself.
Right.
And what was I going to do to not become
Have that
what I
happen.
was surrounded by? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what, Gino? All my friends' parents were wealthy.
Yeah.
I'd go to their homes and pretended I lived there.
Oh, how funny. You know what, Terry? We just saw Little Fires Everywhere. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Oh, you must see it. Everyone must see it. It's a Hulu original. It's Reese Witherspoon and Kerry Washington,
Okay.
and they both got Emmys or something for it. It's a one season, 8 episodes, but it just so happens that the I don't want to give it all away, but the poor girl now has become friends with the girl that has nothing. Now has become friends with the girl that has everything, and gets to go to her house, and goes to her house, and she's in awe looking around. And
Oh, yeah, that was me.
I paused it, and I said to Barb, I remember the first time
See?
I
Exactly.
went to my friend Dutchie's house, and I thought to myself, there's a different way to live.
Yes.
There's people that live different than me.
Yes.
I mean, I was shocked. I was like, okay, I'm gonna find, and I did. I like you did. I mean, we found a way to be different. I would never have that. I would never give that to my kids. I was going to be the father that was going to be around. I was going to be the good friend and the good brother, and it's almost like you said earlier, Terry. People don't realize you can learn from everyone. You can learn,
Everyone.
and you can learn not only what you want to be or what you strive to be, you can learn what you never want to be and how you never want to look and where you never want to go. So when you see someone that you might at first think judging them or laughing at them, stop and ask yourself, have I let myself be in that position? And how would I prevent that, from happening again? Right?
Well,
I mean, it's so hard.
what are the traits that you have seen from successful people that you admire?
Confidence, uh, the ability to have that presence, looking like they have it together, dressing like they have it together is basically what I mean.
Well,
Uh,
it's your window dressing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Drive. I love drive, and it's something that I keep alive. I've always had drive, passion, like Steve's passion for the beauty industry, the love, and which reignited my passion, and now I am committed to keeping that passion alive. So I'd have to say it's confidence, it's drive, it's passion, and then more than anything else, it's the willingness to do whatever it takes, not whatever it takes on your terms, but whatever it takes. I mean, it's not going to be easy, right? Not every day.
So when we saw Mr. Holland's Opus together,
My goodness.
oh, I mean, we didn't see it as a movie. We saw it as a movement.
Yes.
We did.
Yeah. That
And
was great.
and we bawled in that movie. And they were happy tears, but they were such a story of greatness.
Yeah.
He didn't want to be a music teacher, and
Yeah.
then that's all he wanted to be, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We
I remember that moment. I remember sitting there. I even remember Steve looking at you and I like, what is going on
What's
over
going
there?
on?
But
Yeah, we were
we learned so much from that, and we refer to it all the time. And there was so much to learn from it because he was us.
well, we watch a show. Well, there's two parts in Mr. Holland's Opus when she says, "I don't know, but your compass is stuck. As a compass, your compass is stuck." And then she says that when he's first one out, she goes, You get out of this school so fast, you should be our track coach."
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then she says, "I don't know about your teaching, but as a compass, you're stuck." And she walks away. But by the time she retires, she gifts him a compass. That's you
Compass.
and I
Yeah.
when we got all emotional.
Right.
But we even watch Blue Bloods, Tom Selleck in Blue Bloods,
Sure.
and his one-liners are absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And so I guess I learn when I watch a football game because I watch how they coach and how they manage and how they respond to a fumble and what do they do. I learn when I watch a TV show. I learn when I go to the movie theater. You can learn everywhere.
Absolutely.
I've taken notes during Blue Bloods. Now, who takes notes on Friday night at 9 o'clock?
No, I've taken notes at many movies and many TV shows. I mean, I really have. The dialogue sometimes too, how
Oh, yeah.
some of them talk. I mean, I've written down some. I watched a movie not too long ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Oh my goodness, the Marigold Hotel,
Okay.
and I must have rewritten 50 or 60 paragraphs of information that I thought was pertinent to bring into my repertoire, to bring in to the
Yeah.
beauty industry, to share with others. Yeah, and that I think that's something that uh, you have to learn. You have to learn how to learn.
Well, remember when John McCormick said to us the first time, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear?
Yeah,
Remember when he said that the first time?
I sure do.
So whether a book is teaching you, whether you're at a fine restaurant, whether you're on the phone with American Express, when the student is ready and when you decide to be that student, the information, it's like a flock of information.
Absolutely.
It just
Yeah,
comes to you.
you're exactly right. And you then learn how to develop the habit and disciplines to just be a student of life.
Exactly.
What will I learn today? What is there to learn from this book? And I just had a book come in, and Barb was like, "Where did you get that?" It's a older poet named Millay, and she's she won major awards. But we happened to be watching a movie, and the lady in the movie read a poem to the guy who was ill and didn't have much longer to live. And I love the poem so much. In today's world, I grabbed my phone, I Amazoned it, and the next day it was here. And Barb said, "What is that?" And I said, "It's the poem, Barb,
From the
that
book, from
from
the
the
movie.
movie
Yeah.
that we both almost cried." I said, "The poem is in there. I want to read the rest of her stuff and see what maybe there's an enlightening message,
Do you
you
know
know?"
another show we used to watch was The Practice. It was on and it was beautiful one-liners all the time. And there's a scene in that show where two prosecuting district attorneys are having dinner and they just lost a big case. And they knew he was guilty, but they lost, right? The jury
Right, right.
acquitted him. So she puts down her fork at the dinner table and she says, "Okay, give me the speech." And he said, "What speech?" "The speech of why we do what we do. Why do we do this?"
Uh-huh.
And he put down his fork and he went into the speech of almost a service pledge as a district attorney.
Right.
And the whole restaurant stopped and listened,
Uh-huh.
right? And
Sure.
so I know as a friendship of me, if I ever had to call you and say, why am I doing this? And we went through a hard time a few years ago when I called you, but you would give me the speech. And
Absolutely.
and I would give you the speech. And
Absolutely.
you have to find people that you trust to remind you of why you do what you do,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Not, you shouldn't do it, get out. If I
No.
need a speech, I want you to, pump me
Well,
back up.
it kind of goes back to I only hang out with, am good friends with people that demand the very best from me. I don't want people around me that are going to let me slide because I can slide enough on my own. I need other people to say, "You're sliding, you know, get up, get up and make something of this, make this work, make it matter." So I love that. I love that. And I don't know that I'm familiar with that episode of the practice, but I remember when we used to teach PSC net and sales college way back when, and you used movie clips better than anyone I know. And I still remember A Few Good Men and how you used that clip from A Few Good Men. And I've said to Barb countless times, I don't know how to do it. I'm not technological. Can't you get some movie clips on my computer? I'd love to just be able to show people, maybe in an attempt like you do to get people to see the big picture.
Yes.
Because really, as educators, even today, this time just talking with everyone, ultimately what we really want is we want to bring them a tool, a gift, an item, an idea, a thought that maybe they will run with. And you're right. I mean, I do the same thing, Terri. When I watch a football game, I'm watching all how they're being coached, and really I look for the players I like are the players that just give their all the time.
I mean, you know what, Geno, when I think about it, when I watch Michael Jordan play and Steve Kerr, people interview Steve Kerr, and inevitably, even though he's this coach for the Warriors, they'll say, "Hey, what was it like playing with Jordan?" They're always going to get that in. I mean, when you play with the GOAT, they're going to want to know about it, right?
Right.
And so I remember the interview, and he said, there's people in the NBA that they play basketball, but they take the night off. They're kind of lallygag. Is that the word, lallygag?
Yeah.
And they're just dilly-dally. They're going through the motion, but they're not full out. And he said, Michael Jordan not only never took a game off, he didn't take a practice off.
Right. Absolutely. Right? Yeah. And that's what you learn. You learn that people that are incredible on the field are more incredible off the field.
Yes.
They're more incredible doing their practice and their book work. And I mean, if you look behind me, I can tell you, I've read every one of those books probably 10 times, and I still go back to them. I constantly have to remind myself that I am what I put into my head. So maybe I know it's about time to close this up. Maybe we should share with everyone, just stop everything for a moment and think about, what are you reading? What are you studying? What are you listening to? I'll tell you what I would do. I would decipher this program. I would listen to this over and over again. I would learn, because every time you listen to it, you'll learn something different. It's like, I just listened to a vinyl album a little while ago of Jethro Tull, and I heard a song that I never used to like because I've had the album probably for 20 years. I liked it today. It was just different. Something? Yeah.
I was listening to Van Morrison this weekend, and I put out, Alexa, put on Van Morrison love songs, because I love it. The way you look tonight.
Alexa, stop. Now look what you did. You got Alexa putting on Van Morrison. Alexa, stop.
Van Morrison. But I love what mood that puts me in.
Of course.
If I listen to Streisand or on the way here, I was listening to Jennifer Hudson, Dreamgirls, and just what talent, sheer talent.
Terri, what you have to listen to. What mood you want that music to bring you to. You've practiced that long enough that you'll go home sometimes and say, you know what, I need this right now, or I need nothing right now. I need a movie right now. I'll constantly say to Barb, listen, I need something funny right now. I mean, we've been real careful through COVID we're away from the news. The last thing we want to see is something funny for a half hour. I just want to laugh and remember how it used to be. I want to work toward getting back to that kind of thing. But you do that so well, and I think you've really taken the time to know yourself, and that stuff helps us create a mood.
Well, you know what I love? I love when my standards have been projected so strongly. I love when someone will say, Terri, you wouldn't like that. No.
Yeah.
Don't go. That's not you. That's
yeah.
not you. And
yeah.
if I've done that, they're protecting me because my standards have been absolutely presented and understood by others, right?
Oh, no doubt. Yes, no doubt. Well, it also becomes very strong. I mean, to me, your standard when you were on stage teaching uh, became my gold standard. It was what I looked at and said, wait a minute, she lets nothing get in the way here. She's just doing it. And even if you do share anything personal, you share it in a way where if they choose to, they can really learn from it. I mean, we both share a lot of personal things that can really mean a lot to another person, no doubt about it.
It's our life lessons. And some of them are funny. We haven't talked politics not once during this conversation, nor would I.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
We haven't talked religion.
No,
so
I agree.
Just connecting on what could be. Like people say, well, my customers want to talk about this. No, they don't. It's you allowed that to come into the conversation.
Yeah. Well, I always used to use, Terri, what's happening great in your life right now? I think that's a beautiful line.
And
when they start to talk about something, just say, well, stop for a moment. What's happening great in your life right now?
Well,
because
what you say to women is, what are you looking forward to?
Right.
Next. It could be a dance. It could be a wedding. Guys don't know. They're like,
right.
They're looking forward to a football game, but girls always know the next thing that they're preparing for.
Right. I love that. Yeah.
Geno, thank you. Just thank you for being my friend, and thank you for being my counterpart in pushing our information out, right?
Oh, you are welcome. I love you dearly. I miss you guys. I can't wait to get out there. And one of the things we all share really through PSC is our love for the industry, our love for our customer, and anything we could possibly do to help them, if nothing else, be entertained for an hour by two nuts that love what we do.
And yeah, we were pretty serious today for us.
Yeah, we were. Because, well, I had a couple things I wanted to do, but I was afraid. I laugh sometimes just looking at Terri, so I have to be. I do. So I have to be careful because if Terri makes a certain face, but here's what happens. It's not that we laugh. It's that it instantly becomes uncontrollable laughter that I laugh for days. I mean, just,
the things that we've witnessed. Yeah. And I think that the funniest story is us going across country in the ice cold with no host.
Oh, dear God. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We went from here to here to here to here to here, and it was frigid.
Oh, we were in Wisconsin.
Well, wait, but nothing was open.
No, we were in Green Bay, and we were getting to the hotel at 7:00. Well, everything was closed by 7:00, and Terry's shoes froze to the ground. Yeah. Remember that? It was cold.
We couldn't. All we wanted was hot bread and soup and a salad or something. Yeah. Nothing was open. They said all the restaurants have closed down.
We had dinner at the vending machine.
Yes,
I remember that.
Crackers, yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, this is pathetic. I would never treat. I would never treat a guest speaker like this.
Oh my God. Well, how about after you left, and then I was doing the presentation, and the guy rolls the bar in.
Yeah, and
a bar on wheels.
And that's going to be what you're going to drink during education.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for this time.
I can't. I'm so proud to have watched you from a distance. I mean, I'm one of your biggest fans.
Well, thank you. The feeling's mutual.
And I think it's because if everyone could just have a little Geno in their life, just a little Geno, and your love of life, they would make their life so much happier and easier.
Well, I even now, and especially with COVID, I start every day with gratitude, Terri. But one thing I've never let myself forget is that soon we're going to be dead. I mean, you just went through that issue with your mom, and it happened so much faster than people think it does. The most deserving thing you need to do is make today matter. Enjoy today. Squeeze today dry. I can promise you that one thing I do at the end of the day is I squeeze the day dry. I've gotten the absolute most out of it. Anyway, I don't want to cut with that in that heaviness, but I need to go. I have a 5:30 25 minutes that I have to prepare for. So
Oh,
thank you, Terri, so
oh,
much. And thank you all so much. Please stay in contact with me. Email me, Facebook me, Instagram at Geno Stampora. It's not hard.
and we'll talk soon. And next time, let's make it more funny.
Okay. How about tomorrow? Or
Okay.
when do we do it again? Next month? All right. All right. Next month, stay tuned. We're going to do a funny one.
Talk to you soon, baby.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Be safe, everyone. Be safe.
Thank you. You too.